Caitlin Clark's name has definitely took the world by storm in these last recent days, dealing with this Team USA situation, because we ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA. And not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing, because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number.
Caitlin Clark's new Team USA number is already causing chaos online. Her Team USA jersey number is officially changing. Yes, changing. And fans can't believe which number she's switching to. Some fans love it, some hate it, and others are convinced there's a hidden message behind the switch. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark will be wearing a 4 number the next time she competes.
Now, this article has come out early this morning about the matter, so this could be the first time you guys is hearing about this. It states Caitlin Clark Team USA number change turns heads. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark will be wearing a 4 number the next time she competes on a basketball court.
Caitlin Clark keeps proving she can change any room she walks into, and now she's changing conversations about jersey numbers, national teams, and the future of women's sports without even trying. Her number 22 has become one of the most recognizable numbers in all of women's athletics, and it follows her into every story people tell about her. It shows up in signs, shirts, murals, and hashtags, and it's almost impossible to separate the number from the player now. You see 22, and you think of deep threes, quick passes, fast breaks, and the way she pulls crowds into every arena she steps in. The connection is so strong that it doesn't even feel forced anymore. It feels earned, and it feels natural, because Clark made 22 mean something for millions of people who never watched women's basketball before she arrived on the scene. Her history with the number goes back to Iowa, where every game felt like a show. The record-breaking nights, the scoring explosions, the tournament runs, and all the national spotlight moments strengthened the bond between her identity and that number printed across her jersey. Iowa fans wrapped their entire culture around it. Kids began wearing it in youth leagues. People outside the state started learning her story through it. When the WNBA came calling and she entered the league as the most anticipated rookie in its history, 22 came with her like a symbol that didn't need explaining. It became part of her signature. It became part of the league's marketing. It became part of how people talked about the Indiana Fever as soon as she arrived. She made the Fever a national story before she ever played a single minute for them. But Clark isn't the only one with a powerful connection to 22. Aya Wilson, one of the most dominant players in the sport and a 2-time MVP for the Las Vegas Aces, has worn 22 for years. Her jersey became iconic during championship runs and award seasons, and her legacy is attached to it the same way Clark's legacy is. Cameron Brink, another rising star with the Los Angeles Sparks, wears the same number and has been building her own following with it. And if you go back to earlier eras, Cheryl Swoops also added weight to 22 with her Hall of Fame career. It's a number with history, loaded with meaning, and now it has become a point of conversation again because Clark and Wilson ended up on the same All-Star team this year. Fans wonder how the number situation would be handled, and the question only grew louder online because both women have massive followings and long histories with the number. The curiosity built, even though the league has dealt with shared numbers before.
Caitlin Clark and this whole Team USA situation. Now, earlier this week, it was reported that Team USA was starting its training camp practice in North Carolina from December the 12th through December the 14th. Stephanie White will be a part of the event. Superstar basketball players, Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins, and a host of very others. But no one name is bigger than Caitlin Clark.
The All-Star game has enough flexibility to allow multiple players to wear the same number on the same team, and it wouldn't have been a problem. Sonia Citron also wears 22, and she was on the same All-Star roster. But Clark never reached the court. She suffered a groin injury a few days before the game, and that injury not only sidelined her for the All-Star weekend, but for the rest of the regular season as well. That took the conversation away from numbering rules and shifted it toward her recovery, her health, and what the Fever would look like without her on the floor. The injury was disappointing for fans who wanted to see her compete on a bigger stage. But the attention quickly turned toward another major topic in women's basketball: the state of the next WNBA collective bargaining agreement.
Now, I did a video yesterday where Kayla Clark was wearing a different number, and I spoke about it in that video. If you guys have not seen it, I highly recommend you guys go check it out. That is the one with Kayla Clark. Got some footage from 2017, and she's wearing number 11 in that clip. I believe that was from high school. Stated Kayla Clark isn't the only WNBA star they have number 22. Asia Wilson got it as well. Cameron Brink wears Sheriff Shoots, is also known for wearing it.
Negotiations have been a constant talking point around the league, especially with the rising popularity of stars like Clark, Wilson, and Reese. Fans, analysts, and players have been discussing what the future of the league could look like and how the growth of the game might impact salaries, revenue splits, player conditions, and long-term league policies. These conversations have been happening for years, but the speed at which the sport has grown over the past 2 seasons has pushed them into the mainstream. The belief that a new CBA might arrive sooner than expected has been gaining momentum. Clark's presence in the league has only added fuel to that expectation because she brings new fans, new revenue, and new leverage to nearly every business conversation connected to the WNBA. And then the next twist in the story arrived when news broke that Clark would be attending the USA Basketball Women's National Team Training Camp in Durham, North Carolina. The camp takes place from December 12th to December 14th, and the announcement added a whole new layer of intrigue because fans have been waiting to see how Team USA might incorporate younger stars. Clark being invited didn't automatically guarantee anything for future competitions, but it signaled that USA Basketball wants to evaluate her up close. It also signaled that her star power has become impossible to ignore, even in environments loaded with veterans and established champions. When the official camp roster was released, fans noticed something immediately. Clark was listed not as number 22, but as number 17. Most people didn't know this rule, but national teams do not allow duplicate jersey numbers. A player who wears a popular or heavily used number in the WNBA may need to switch to something completely different when representing the United States. Clark wasn't the only one who had a change. Paige Buchers, Angel Reese, and several others also received numbers that didn't match their college or professional identities. It's a standard rule, but it still surprised fans who have grown so accustomed to seeing Clark's familiar 22. The thought of Clark wearing a number that has no connection to her college story and no connection to her WNBA journey felt strange, even though it's temporary. The camp number does not guarantee anything for official Olympic or World Cup play. It also doesn't lock her into that number for future teams. It just reflects the structure of the camp. Still, the reaction online showed how attached people are to her brand. Seeing her listed as 17 made fans comment, joke, speculate, and debate. Some fans said it reminded them that this was only a training camp invitation and not an official roster spot. Others were more curious about how she would fit into a program filled with stars who have played together for years. Some wondered what her game might look like in a Team USA environment, and some simply wanted to know how her recovery timeline would affect her ability to train or compete at that level. The curiosity around her continues to reach levels that few athletes in women's sports have ever experienced. Clark's ability to draw attention in so many different areas, WNBA, college history, endorsements, national team possibilities, and viral moments, speaks to the scale of her impact. She brings massive audiences wherever she goes, and she does so even when she's not playing. The announcement of a training camp number was enough to produce headlines, and that shows just how invested people are in every detail of her career. Her connection to the national team story also shines a light on how much women's basketball has evolved. Team USA has always been stacked with talent. Decades of dominance have shaped a culture that expects gold medals and championship-level performances. But fans now follow the process more closely. They watch the pipeline. They discuss incoming players. They track rosters and schedules, and they break down position battles that used to be quiet conversations behind the scenes. The attention Clark brings amplifies all of this, and it forces more coverage of the competition surrounding roster spots, training sessions, and the future identity of the team. Clark's arrival into these discussions also highlights generational shifts happening throughout the sport. Younger stars are entering the league with massive followings built during their college years, and they bring a visibility that older eras did not have access to. Social media changed how fans interact with the game. NIL changed how athletes built their brands before turning professional. Streaming changed how games reached international audiences. And Clark sits at the center of these changes, drawing both excitement and intense scrutiny at the same time. This new era creates more crossover moments, more debates, and more speculation about what's next for the sport. Clark's training camp invite comes during a time when people are hungry for transparency about national team decisions. Fans want to understand who gets invited, why certain players make the roster, how styles fit, and how coaches evaluate talent. Clark represents a new wave of players who bring enormous attention with them. And that attention forces more explanations from institutions that once operated with little public pressure. Her shift from 22 to 17 for the camp also symbolizes how different systems can reshape familiar athletes. College numbers become part of a personal story. WNBA numbers become part of a professional identity. National team numbers can feel like temporary masks because players often change them depending on roster availability and assignments. Clark stepping into that world reminds fans that even the most recognizable stars must adapt to larger structures. Fans will be watching everything she does during those camp days. They'll track the drills, the interactions, the highlights, the media sessions, and the early evaluations. They will break down every clip and every quote because her presence generates momentum and uncertainty at the same time. People want to know whether she will fit into the national team sooner rather than later. They want to know how coaches see her. They want to know how veterans respond to her. They want to know how her injury recovery affects her ability to compete at that level. Every small update becomes a major talking point. The truth is that her appearance at the camp does not guarantee anything. National team spots are extremely competitive. Coaches evaluate experience, chemistry, decision-making, defensive ability, positional needs, and long-term planning. Younger players often spend multiple camps with a national program before earning a roster spot in a major tournament. Clark will be competing within a structure that values continuity and stability, but she will also be competing within a sport that recognizes how important her presence is for global interest. Her role in the future of Team USA may not be clear today, but her presence proves that her journey is only getting started. Clark's path continues to unfold one unexpected moment at a time. She navigates injuries, all-star debates, jersey stories, league business, training camps, and national conversations about the future of women's sports while still carrying a level of attention that few athletes have ever managed. She handles each shift with calmness, even when the spotlight never dims. Fans will follow every step she takes during this camp because she represents potential, excitement, and possibility for a sport that keeps growing every season. And now that you've heard the full picture, do me a favor. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more updates on Caitlin Clark, Team USA, and the biggest stories shaping the game, hit like, drop a comment, hype the video, and make sure you subscribe. Your support pushes the channel forward and helps us bring you even more stories that matter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.